Hey guys, it's Fishy, and we are ready for another live troll hunt. I am so excited. There's so much that we have to cover tonight, but I'm going to get my phone set while I tell you about what's been going on in the past week. I have been tracking a lot of those fake profiles on my spreadsheet, and we're up to almost 500 reported that I've tracked. 500 profiles from the first week of July to now, the second week of August. And that many profiles, of those over 400, have been removed. So we have an 86% removal rate on reported profiles. I am so excited about that. This means that since July 7th or so, Facebook has agreed with me 86% of the time when I've reported a profile and said, yeah, that looks like that one's fake, and they've taken it down. So that's a really good thing to start with today. But it gets better. And we will get into all that, but I want you to see what I'm looking at here. I'm also going to make sure I've turned my volume down. Hi, Sarah. I see that you're there. This is going to be some kind of entertaining night for me again. So I wanted to show you the stats. This is kind of the spreadsheet, the very messy spreadsheet I've been keeping things squared away with. And this is how many profiles reported: 497 as of this evening. And then 429 of those have been removed for an 86% removal rate. But I did two videos today, or I released two videos today as I scroll down all the way to the place where they go right here. David Warner and Cushy Evie. David Warner and Cushy Evie are a couple of fakers that I spent some time on with the stock scan tool to make a video about it. And when we look at David's profile, this one was a classic example of engagement bait that he was doing. Texas City, Texas, things like that, little tells like that. A couple hours later, I released it at 4 Central, so that's 4 hours later, and David Warner is still up. Cushy Evie, I did a video about that one this morning. This one was Pakistan all over it when you looked at the likes and whatever. And I think we can actually do that from here. The likes that were on this profile were Pakistan everywhere, all sorts of things. The Islam Advisor, Inform Pakistan, Jito Pakistan, Pakistan Fashion. Yeah, so again, this profile is also still up and running. So got a couple of those we're waiting on, but I found out the names of both of those, and if you watch those videos, you could see that happen live. Which brings up what question I have for everybody tonight. I've been making some videos using stock scan, but I've sort of rushed through it. Lately, I've been taking my time, doing a few more slowly and more individually. And I'd like to make better videos about using the stock scan tool, but I'm also wanting to think of what other videos would be helpful to be out there to show people about fakery. So that's the question I want people to be thinking about and not noodling over and getting back to me on. What do you think people need to know about fakery? What can we do in terms of making videos that will reach people where maybe an article wouldn't, or maybe just a post or a short GIF wouldn't do it? So what can we do to get more information into the hands of people who need it in a manner in which they will consume it? So that's the question for this week that we're going to think of. Meantime, I have again been tracking. Oh, and I meant to say the David Warner that I've been tracking is not this David Warner, just so you know. I had to pull that up because I thought, oh, that name sounds familiar. So this is what I wanted to get to today. Now, this is my spreadsheet that deals with all the sites that I'm tracking. This is a permanent kind of tracking sheet that as the sites come on and go off, I keep track because I want to know who's pushing content from where, in what formats and whatnot. So even though it's a mess, this is what I'm looking at. These are the names of the websites. These are the addresses. These are the names of the profiles that are sharing it. These are their addresses. And these are the countries I've managed to tag those profiles as coming from, just so you're oriented as to what you're going to see. And I also did some coordinating color-wise. Anything in light blue here has this particular template to it. We'll look at this one because I've shown it before. This is the blue first letter, white the rest of the letters. That template, every post here looks like that. And 2 of those sites have gone down already. And most of the profiles that have been sharing that content have gone down. So that's template number 1 I was tracking. I've tracked some pink ones that look like this. I've tagged it with pink, but this is what they look like. They have a light cornflower blue sort of left justified title there. And then, let's see, we have this green tagged one. This one is from this group that was sharing out of nations speaking Arabic. And so those 3 of those were there. One of them has been taken down. It was a blog spot. And then this dark blue was out of the Philippines. And it looks like this. Let's see. It's got like a background behind. Oh, this is interesting. This blog has gone down. Let's see if any of them are up yet, or still. Yes, okay, so here we go. Make America Great Forever. Had a little mountain in the background behind whatever was in the foreground here. And it was Maxine Waters faces 5 years in prison for inciting violent riots. Really? Not particularly true, but pushed at Americans from the Philippines. And there's other ones here. We're just going to tick through them to see if any of the other ones came down. And I just didn't upload and pay attention to this. Updated global news came down. Let's see. Politics News Today is up. Politics Today is probably down. Down. And Today News in USA. Let's see what we got there. It's gone. All right. So that's some interesting stuff. Those ones came down. And they had a lot. Dozens and dozens of profiles that were sharing that. Then the last one I had here was the bright fuchsia, I suppose. Pakistan, India was sharing these. And those still all appear to be up. But these were color-coded so I could keep track of which profile or which blogs look like what. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Let's look at this one. Pioneer Press. Oh, those 2 are down. React 365, is that up? It was up earlier today when I was looking at things. Yes, okay, so this one had left justified with red letters, so some of those might have been taken down too. Okay, I'm going to have to mark those here. But regardless, that was 5 templates I was tracking. And these, you'll see as I scroll down, there are those colors. That's what that means. Now you've seen them. And you've seen where I've marked out ones that I've noticed have been discontinued and have left. So that's fascinating too. But when we get to these blue ones, these dark blue ones, the Philippine accounts that were hosting these or pushing this content, they were not being touched. They were not fake. And if they weren't fake, I wasn't going to report them. So here's Arlene. And I knew that Arlene was from the Philippines because I went through her profile, I think, and found some comments that were in that language. Let's see if we can do this really quickly. I copied it and went over to Google, and I looked for Google Translate and popped that text in, and it would tell me, well, that's Hindi, so that's interesting. Let's go back and look at her again and see if we can find another one, because sometimes they don't work. Now, all of these, a lot of these profiles, I should say, had Marika Maniago, I think is how you say that. That was apparently a star in Philippines. They've been borrowing her pictures, liking her sites, sharing her content over and over. She's, yeah, Pinoy, I think that is a reference to the Philippines. Not exactly sure, but there's quite a bit of content, and I know that Marika, is from the Philippines, and so the videos we're seeing are not necessarily uh, from the people on the timeline. It's just something that particular girl, yep, Filipino, there we go. So that profile survives. The Arlene Avis survives this purge, but I knew that she was Filipino. She didn't claim to be in the United States. She had friends that were also looking legitimate. She didn't look like a faker. She was just sharing this content from Daily Politics USA. So I don't know what she's doing now, and I will find out really quickly. But that is what I looked at when I looked at all these Philippine accounts. I noticed that they were sharing stories like the one we saw with Maxine Waters being about to be facing prison time or something. And I know that's not true. I know that's not true. And oh, she has no posts to show. Look at that. Interesting. I was hoping to find another post that would help. So all kind of communities and page likes and stuff like that. That's interesting. But yeah, nothing that I can show you what she posted before. But these are the groups that she was surely posting it in, that's for sure. And we might yet find her sharing some content in one of those places. But we'll check those later. I'll put that link over us to the side to look at. But what was interesting is I would be so frustrated. I would not report these profiles because they were real people. I'm pretty sure these were their actual profiles. I couldn't find any evidence of fakery. It was just people from the Philippines sharing content that was fake at Americans through groups like those. And so I didn't really know how to handle that. I didn't feel right reporting them as fake profiles. There wasn't really a good option that says this profile shouldn't be sharing things like this at Americans or something like that. That's just, there's a big hole here in the political communications issue that Facebook has not faced yet about people in other countries pushing messages at Americans. And at the same time, the thing that was frustrating me was if they had made a post saying that Maxine Waters was facing prison for inciting riots, and then I attempted to debunk that and say, run an ad on a piece of content I had made, a video I had made that said that Maxine Waters never said this. You can't find any credible source for that. If I wanted to run that as an ad, Facebook wouldn't let me because it was a political ad. But here, these guys could share for free all the political content they wanted at Americans. That's been my problem all along. I can't counter it even if I pay to do so. And it's been frustrating. But it looked like today when I started looking at these profiles are gone. This from Clive, gone. Let's see about this one. This is Bourbon, is a name that kept coming up. They just did it backwards. Dario Bourbon. When we look at Dario Bourbon is still there. That's really interesting. Tells you he lives in the Philippines. These are the people that are friends. Maybe this one hasn't done a whole bunch of pushing that content. Maybe it's only certain ones that got removed. But when we look at Dario Bourbon's posts, let's see if he's still got any up to show. Could not find anything. So they might have even locked down their profile and deleted old posts. I don't know. But that was pretty odd. Dario is still up. Let's see about Vanessa here. because so many of these came down. Vanessa is gone. So I'm going to mark through Vanessa too. Ronell, let's see about Ronell. These are literally dozens of these accounts. I'm seriously wondering what happened. Jenny Montez is gone. This is something else. So I'm just going to flip through while we're watching here and look at these. Here's the bourbon name again, or Bourbon. I don't even know how you say it. A different Bourbon. It's gone. Violi. I don't know. Alma. Alma is gone. Wow. This might be a serious number. Maria Cloniel. Gone. And the thing is, I didn't report them. I can't take credit for these. I marked them. I figured out that they were doing nefarious things, but I didn't remove them. I didn't report them. I didn't try to get them removed. I tried to bring awareness to it, but that was it. I didn't feel right reporting these as fake because I didn't think they were. I think these were people who were paid to use their own profiles to push this content. And that was a big problem for me. Okay, Virginia Pena actually lives. Okay, so Virginia this one looks like it's actually a fake. We'll check it out later. I will leave it up in the spreadsheet. Oh, because it's not. Okay, that's not blue. We got to the end of those. That's why. Okay, so Virginia Pena may or may not be legitimate. I don't know. I don't want to slander her. But I'll look down here for another set from the Philippines, and here we are. Right here, we start with Leslie Ponce, and I've seen that name before a bunch of times, and it's gone. Leslie was a very prolific, one of the very first prolific faker sharers that I had seen. And then Carl here, Carl is gone. This is you just don't even know. This is a huge problem that Facebook had, a huge hole that we couldn't figure out a way to get these particular profiles gone. Greatest Defender, Maurice Rosales, gone. I've been looking at these accounts for 6 weeks, waiting to see if Facebook was going to do anything about it. And right now is where we find out that they seem to have taken down the bulk of them. Of course, if you had a name like Jam Jam on Facebook, that probably should tip you off that's not necessarily legitimate, but it never bothered Facebook before. It didn't. So let's look for another one of those dark blue ones from the Philippines. Here we go. This set wasn't very prolific, and I think it's because that site didn't end up too often shared. Lives in Quezon City in Philippines. They're telling you straight up they're Filipino. And this one after it, let's see. That one's alive. Okay, so again, we're looking at someone from the Philippines, I'm pretty sure. Yep, going to college in that place in the Philippines. So that one's still up. This one, Junri, yep. Again, where are we? Philippines. And let's see, this one, that's a name for you. Dela Cruz. Oh, Dela Cruz is gone. Now the Camarotes I've talked about before. They've been up for a long time. Gone. Benedict is gone. Wow. So these are some more sites out of Pakistan. These particular profiles are the only ones that look like they're operating. But we'll get down here to another dark blue. We know Arlene is okay. I think we've checked on Jenny Montez and found her gone. Yeah, I don't want to do this too many times. I'll end up with Facebook telling me I got to slow down. But this is what I'm coming up with. This many profiles that are just gone after 6 weeks of heavily spamming these groups. And we'll take a look at what that would look like. I want to take a visit through one of those groups in a minute and see if they're still out there. But I had noticed that in the groups that I've checked regularly, and especially in the one that I'm helping moderate right now, those were typically free of a lot of the Philippine accounts in the past couple of days that are sharing this stuff. Here's again the Philippines from this Lynn Ford. I don't know that that's even her name. This one I think we've looked at before, so he's out. Good gravy. Ladlin Lee. We'll finish these few and then we'll stop because I don't want to get Facebook to kick me out of checking profiles. This one was from Seoul, South Korea. I don't know how that happened, how that one ended up getting to share that, but sometimes that happens, I suppose. Here's another one gone, just like that. Kenzo Gutierrez, gone. It's so amazing. You just don't know how excited I am to see this, but only partly, and we'll talk about why in a minute. Last one here, we'll check. Alma. I think we've already looked at Alma. I think Alma's gone. Yeah, Alma is gone. All right, so here's the philosophical question I think that we need to think about. We have all of these profiles trying to serve content from the Philippines, from India, from Pakistan, from Serbia, from Kosovo, from Croatia. I've even seen a Brazilian account on here trying to pass along stuff. There's some Arabic-speaking nations where people have been sharing some of this content. And with all of this content being shared at Americans, what is the answer about what we do with it? What can we do in terms of not involving the law, not involving the government? I don't think a government solution here is going to be very helpful. So I'm trying to get people to think about what can we do instead. I wanted to show people that the Philippines were spamming them with this kind of information. And it's hard to get people to understand the importance of it. And again, if we're looking at these guys and trying to see what their content is, what they're doing with their content, what they're pushing out there, it's hard to see. It's hard to understand what they're doing. But I guess let's go to one of these groups. Let's try Mexicans for Donald Trump. That one seems like a likely one. We'll see if this is still pervasive in that group. We have a group that has 19 new posts today, 10,000 members. Somebody might be cleaning up in this group. I don't know. That seems like a low number for a group that has any fakery in it. It may be that this group has got cleaned up. I don't know. So I don't know anything about this site 1600daily.com, but I imagine it is a hyper-partisan site or something like that, so I'll come back and check that later. May have to add it to my list, I don't know. Canine Dogs Officer. Ooh, Sarah, I bet this is one of those pages that is animal-centric. I might even have this one already preloaded into my spreadsheet. Let's see. We'll take a break real quick here and go over and look at the pages. Animals and canine officers. Canine Dogs Officer. Yep, I've got that one. And it says it was shared by one of these two guys. Alex S. Scott. Oh, I remember Alex S. Scott. I remember I couldn't say that name. Alex was a big supporter of one of these animal sites. There he is. Like page if you love animals. So I'm going to have to add Alex up here to the Canine Dogs Officer. That is what it's called, right? Canine Dogs Officer. Yep. All right. So, I mean, this is really what I do when I start looking at these. I'll put that, make a new space for him. I'll put his name and link there, and then I'll copy this down. This is just so I can sort easily. It's ugly and everything, but Goodness. That's what I'll do. I'll comb these groups and I'll add new data when I can. Here we go. Look what we just found. Mitz Gabriel. Now, Mitz Gabriel, if we go back to my spreadsheet over here and we put in the find, Mitz Gabriel is 2 times on this sheet, 3 times, right here under this old site that was taken down, Updated Global News. So I've got Mitz Gabriel there and there and there. So 3 places for this Mitz Gabriel and Mitz Gabriel Dela Cruz. Now we have found a Mitz Gabriel here. What is he looking at? USAFLSHPRTL.blogspot.com. My prediction is that it's going to be one of the mountain background. Oh, wait a minute. When you click on it, the blog has been removed, but the image is still here. How is that possible? That is weird. Oh, and I've seen this headline before. Georgia becomes first state to ban Muslim culture and historic move to restore Western values. I've seen this on another article by the Filipinos. But when you go to that link, the blog has been removed. Look at that. I wonder if that's just the stories have been removed and not the site. No, the whole blog has been removed. That's a flaw. Facebook has not got those guys. And apparently this one, Mitz Gabriel, is still posting. So, but he tells you right here, he's Quezon City. He is in the Philippines. So what else is in this group? Let's see if there's any more of them here. Herman Cain, Chris Cuomo. Let's see. 21st Century American Patriots. I don't even know what that is. This is one of the ones from Kosovo. Sharing a page from Kosovo. Support law enforcement, which is a new page. Let's see. Lucky Ruth. I think Lucky Ruth is legit. Jews News, which always makes me leery. I don't think Jews News is a legit site at all. Sarfaraz Ganshi from politicaldesire.site. That one's already on my radar. I've got it down here. Whoa. Right here somewhere. Sarfaraz Ganshi. I already pegged it from Pakistan, so I already know that's a Pakistan site. But yeah, it looks like a lot of the Filipino blogs are having a problem. Now, Sarah, you bring up a great point. Sarah says, I wonder why the blogs are going down. Copyright violations? Anybody who has been following the story of Christopher Blair and all the fakery he does, and he does a lot of fakery, when he does his fakery, he's writing the original articles. He is coming up with the satire, quote, unquote, on his own. And what's happening is after he does that and publishes those things on a site with his disclaimer at the bottom saying that it's fake, when he does that, other unscrupulous, I guess, fakers, are there scrupulous fakers? I don't know. But these unscrupulous folks rip his content off of his pages, take out make sure they leave out the satire warning and whatever, and then put it up somewhere else. And he has actually sent threatening letters, lawsuits, and applied to the, like in the case of these particular Philippine blogs, they're all blog spots, so that's run through Google. And it might be that what's going on is those blogs are being taken out by Google for copyright based on something like Christopher Blair complaining and threatening and whatever. I will say that the majority of the Blogspot blogs that I've seen on those sites has been around content that I've seen before. I will have seen fakery from bad Tom Selleck quotes or things like that. And I know I've seen them before and debunked them from somewhere else, and they're popping up again. I see a lot of that with these India, Pakistan, light blue, and fuchsia ones too happening. Let's see if any of those dark blue have any sites that are still working. I know we went through this already once. Make America Great Forever is still operational, I think. Right. So, I mean, these are the stories we're looking at. Trump decides to cut aid to UN. $5 billion will stay in the United States. Do you support this? I don't know if that's true. I haven't vetted that story, but it's certainly a baity thing to say U.S. aid cut to UN. David Lynch, Trump will go down in history for destroying the New World Order. I don't know if he said that. I haven't checked into that one either. And that's the thing. If I'm constantly doing debunks, that's all I'll ever be doing. I will be trying to track down, Kevin Bacon saying this and David Lynch saying that, and there's no end to that. That way lies the treadmill, and you will always be on it. And if you're building a site that has a revenue stream and you need people to come to your site and check out the information, like say a news organization or Snopes or something, or even Martin's work over at Hoax Alert. Martin's able to do a lot of good debunking and everything, but that he has almost all automated right now, so that he can turn those around super quickly. I can't do that. Not with what I'm doing. And I don't have a site yet. I don't have a web page where I'm putting together content that people can go to and then serve ads to while they're doing that. None of that is available to me. I don't have the skill or the talent or the resources to do that sort of thing right now. So my goal has always been in the fakery space to see the patterns, figure out what's going on, try to do something to make it better. What can I teach people? How can I help people to be better? One of the things I can do is show you that this template of this page looks like a whole bunch of other pages, and they're all served out by people from the Philippines. And so that's what I've done. I've looked at these. Politics Daily News looks like Make America Great Forever. And let's see if there are any other ones that are still operational here. Politics News Daily is still up, right? Is that one still up? Yep, Politics News Daily looks like Politics Daily News. Looks like Make America Great Forever. And I bet we could probably find a bunch of the same articles on these particular sites. And I can show people that. No one else is showing people that. No one else is telling people that these are the same. And run very possibly by the same people in their basements doing whatever. Do they have basements in the Philippines? I don't even know. Somebody will tell me, I'm sure. But I can show people that these are identical, run by the same people, and I can show that the patterns of the blogs look the same when you go from one to the other. And you can see somebody is just trying to crank out content that would attract American clicks. And yes, I'm making some money for them right now, but it's in the service of looking and tracking them down and trying to see what they're doing. And with this many sites like that, with this many, and I've got 495 individual profiles, roughly. If you count doubles, it's more like 470 profiles sharing this many sites. And if I were better at spreadsheets, I would have them indexed, or I would put them in databases, and it would be a little cleaner. But at least from here, I can show people patterns, and they can see and appreciate this. That if I'm showing them, hey, I've seen the same story on all these different sites, or I've seen these sites all sharing the same sort of content, trying to make it look like they're legitimate. and showing people what they're serving content-wise to them, then maybe that's my role in this space. Maybe that's what I can do to help. But with all of these Philippine accounts finally coming down, I'm wondering if Facebook is looking at this a different way. Maybe Facebook has decided to say, okay, perhaps it's not good to have foreign groups or foreign actors sharing content at Americans in these groups. Maybe we should do something about it. I don't know what that is. I will tell you, though, in the last 15 minutes or so before we quit for the night, that I'm getting a lot of other profiles that are trying to get into groups that I'm helping with that don't necessarily look legitimate to me. So we're going to look at a few of those on the live stream live. I have not vetted these before. I have not looked at them, but we're going to check them out. So I'm going to copy Allison here, and we're going to go look in stock scan, and we're going to see how quickly we can figure out whether these are real people or not. If they are real, I apologize. I have to do diligence, though, to check them out. So these are the photos that we're seeing from her. Those look sort of like more a legitimate American collection of photos. When we look at pages, Green Bay, so that's the region that we're looking at. If we look at the profile, it doesn't really say, but those look like Packer clothes, so that looks rather consistent. Even though it's a small number of people, this may be a Trump supporter that really does support Trump and want to be a part of groups. I don't know. So, but nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing looks crazy here. The posts commented on, public posts commented on, are things like this. This is nothing that's jumping out as crazy or strange or foreign. So, up to me, I would say Allison gets to stay, and that's a good thing, because really quickly we were able to say, that's probably a legitimate account. Now, the behavior once they're in a group, we still monitor that, but at least initially we can say, yeah, this one looks like they can have a chance. This one, Zane is an unlikely name. We'll go look at comments on pictures, and we're going to find something altogether different from what we saw with the last profile. This is pretty interesting. Let's see if there are any comments to look at from Zane. Indeed. Just awesome. That's it. Awesome. No tags to see, to find out who Zane really is. But when we look at things like tags of pictures of Zane, when Zane gets tagged in a picture, this is all that's there, and that's from this initial profile. That's cute. So sweet. So when we look at posts, though, that Zane is tagged in, this is what we get. So it's a bit different from that. This is where you're starting to see this might not be a legitimate profile. Look at the page likes down here. This is what we see. This one looks to be out of India. So we've got lots of public figures, media stuff. This looks like it might be people from that region. I'm going to call this one a no. So I'm going to say Zane does not get to come into the group. And Munir Cindy, with the parentheses under it, Lee Meadows. JD saw this pattern before too, where it looked like a foreign name, and then in parentheses it looked like a more American or Western name. But this one says lives in Morocco. Now here's my dilemma. Do I believe that Munir Cindy and Lee Meadows are this person? Probably not. But do I turn that in as fake? I'm not sure. Is that a real name? Are they just using a fake name? I don't know. So let's at least vet the profile a little more closely before we turn it into the group and say we're going to keep it. And let's see. No, it does not make sense, GD. Not at all. These are the pictures that Munir Cindy comments on. Now, the thing is, the idea in my head when thinking about this is that what they're doing is now if I go in here and I find a photo that says, in fact, we're going to go back out and look at that guy again. We're going to go here and we're going to look for a comment. It's going to be under the name Munir Cindy. That's what the name is going to be. But if there's a tag that shows that has Munir Cindy, it'll show no matter what the other name is. So I was thinking, if what Facebook is doing is checking that the tags match, that this would match the tags, but then they can pretend to be Lee Meadows somehow. They think somebody might buy that. I'm really at a loss as to how that works. But these are the photos commented on by Munir and or Lee. These are the pictures when Munir is tagged. It's only that one. So somehow no other tags were out there. I think they can remove their own tags. Posts tagged in is this. So I don't know what that is. I can't read that, but there it is. That doesn't look like her anyway. We can look at groups that are the Munir profile goes into. President Donald J. Trump News, We Love Donald Trump, Tommy Lahren fans. I've talked to the folks for moderating that as well. They're doing a yeoman's work trying to keep that group clean too. And then these are the pages liked. Let's see, Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. So yeah, this one is probably out of the Middle East. Lebanon, just different places that they like that are in that region. And this looks to be Arabic, not Urdu. So yeah, not thinking this one looks very legitimate here. I'm thinking Munir is not coming in the group at all. So here's Brooklyn Logan. I've seen this picture before. I've gotten a profile with that picture booted before. So Brooklyn Logan Liam is absolutely a fake. I'm telling you straight up. I don't even need to look. But we'll check. These guys are good at recycling. If you can say nothing else about them, they are green recycling people. These are the photos commented on by Brooklyn Logan Liam. And on the off chance there's a tag, we're going to look at a couple of these. Yep, look at here, live on camera, Brooklyn Logan Liam. Awesome. And Mahad says, thanks, Alishba Noor. And I hover over it, and it's Brooklyn Logan Liam right there in front of your eyes. That's how easy it is to find them with those tags being the way they are. And I hope Facebook does not change that. But of course, now I have to do this. I have to open that link. I have to have this link, and I have to find the Brooklyn Logan Liam link, and I have to put all that while we're talking here in my spreadsheet. Otherwise, I'll forget it. I have 4 videos to make tomorrow. 4 videos from these accounts and now Brooklyn Logan Liam. Because I'm getting behind because I was doing a bunch of other stuff today. But this is what I do. I go through, and once I find them, I pull the name, the link for the name. I pull the comments. I didn't get that name link though. Okay. I pull the comments, pages commented on, and put those down here. And then I take this actual picture where the tag was. I copy that link, and I put it down here too. And then when I'm ready to do these, I can just open all those links at once. So that is what's going on there. All right. So Natalia Riley. There's just 2 more of these, and then we will go for the night. But Natalia Riley, I'm not buying it even without looking, just because of the way it came in. If I look at Natalia Riley, the photos commented on, this is what I get. And it doesn't match, does it? And I find, as a part of my work, when I'm scrolling through looking for photos with tags, it's the guys. It's the guys. They will tag each other. Women do not tag the men, and I don't know why. But the guys will tag each other, and you will have profiles named Vanessa commenting in here, and then the person whose photo they're commenting on says, thanks, bro. And nobody sees that. so nobody finds it odd. But there it is. It's just another one of those weird things. If I'm looking at a comment, a photo commented on by a profile named Vanessa, and somebody says, "Thanks, bro." Okay. I mean, that's just a hint to me that there might be something hinky there. I'm just saying. So here we are with Humayun, and as soon as we get through here, we'll just pop in and see if there was a comment by Natalia, and we'll find it with the find up here. Where is it? There it is. Nice, mama. I don't know what mama is in Indian or Hindi or Urdu, but there you go. No tags there. But that's what we do. Is it just I look for them there. I'll click on the guy's pictures, and I'll see if there's any comments. And if there are a bunch of them, I'll just sort through them with the find. But here's Natalia Riley commenting this way in this language, whatever this is. Watch it be something like Bangla. No, Bangla is more circular, I think. We'll put it into here. No, I was wrong. It is Bangla. Look at that. My eyes are getting a little bit better at this. So I don't know if there's going to be any Natalia tags there, but I'll put that one aside to look at later. And then we'll look at Syed Farhad again with the strange name that doesn't necessarily look like it would go with the person in the photographs. And I do want to know where they steal these photos because, mercy, it's crazy. So here we go. These are the photos that Syed comments on. And I bet if I had been able to find, look at that dark-haired Alicia Silverstone, I'm sorry. If I had been able to find a comment by any guy, any pictures of any guy that had a tag in it, it would say Syed. It wouldn't have a different name under it. And this one didn't have in parentheses underneath it a different name. So, that's just seeing him over and over again. I start to see patterns, and then the patterns change. Just as soon as I get used to it, the patterns change. That is how they do. And I'm kind of afraid to click on these women's pictures because the comments that Pakistani men make, that's another excuse. Pakistani and Indian men, the comments that they make, the things that they say, I think we're all just better off pretending that they didn't say those things. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're just not gonna comment or pick up on those, particularly when we have Indian women with maybe really well endowed. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, the bobs when they have extremely gifted in the bobs area, we'll say. Thank you, Felix, for that. I finally saw the video, JD. Yeah. But yeah, they have lots of colorful comments to say to women, and some of them would be quite rude. So yeah, it's just a cultural thing. I'm not judging. I'm totally judging. But yeah, that's just a thing culturally. I think that goes on there. And so yeah, showing you any of the comments would be to subject you potentially to maybe some images even in threads that you might not want to see, and language that I would hope that people that I know wouldn't necessarily use about women. But yeah, so anyway, I think we can safely say that Syed here is not going in the group. Syed does not get an invitation to come into that group and goes into the check it out later file. So that is pretty much the report for tonight. Thank you so much for being around. Again, I'm still thinking about better ideas for more videos that could be more along the lines of helping people spot fakery. And I'm trying to do it in a way that people can understand and apply immediately. So we're not talking like you have to take a course and level up to do anything. I'm talking about skills I can teach people and show them how to do on camera in a couple of minutes that will level them up broadly. We've got almost 375 subscribers on the YouTube channel, and that's good, but it's not near enough. I need a whole bunch more subscribers. I need a whole bunch more views. We're getting there. We are getting there, but it's still such a long climb. And at this rate, we're going to start going backwards on our metrics on YouTube channel metrics, especially. But yeah, we've kind of stalled again. We've kind of stalled off a bit, and we're not able to get a whole bunch of views and everything. And I know part of it is that I've spent the last month and a half doing these expose videos, and not a lot of people understand what they're seeing. And I know I need to expand on some of what I'm seeing. What I am going to do, one of the things that is on the menu to do, is a video on stock scan, slowly going through the whole thing, a longer form video going through all of the functions that we can. And I'll probably recruit some volunteers to be in that video as far as let's check out their profiles. So if you want to be a part of that and let me look through your public posts on a video to be able to illustrate to people what normal profiles look like, let me know. That would be awesome. Also, I'm going to do a couple of not necessarily fakery related, but optimizing the fight against fakery in an indirect way. One of those is going to be coming up this week. It is why you should review pages on Facebook, especially when you find a fake page, why you should review that and what you should do about that. That is one way nobody thinks of to fight fakery. And we're going to teach you how to do that and why. So thanks for joining me tonight. It has been a fun day to see all those Filipino fake pushing pages come down. I'm going to check later tonight when I can get back in and not get kicked out of Facebook for checking anymore. But I will check in tonight and see how many of them came down total on my list. I am so excited to see those numbers. Meanwhile, next week we are going to do this on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. We're going to try out Tuesday and see if it works a little better for us. Thanks so much for being with me, and go like and subscribe and follow and tweet and share and comment and all that good stuff, and help Unfakery get a little bit of a boost. We certainly do need it. Thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon.